You could take a seat.
See. Hi.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Jamaal, Councillor Myers.
I'm Sarah from TorontoTv.
Nice to meet you, Sarah.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, Mary.
Hi.
Nice to meet you again.
对呀，他30才颁奖给他呢。
Tracy, pleasure.
Okay, that's Joseph.
Oh, I didn't realize there was 2 tables. Hi, nice to meet you. Everyone so much for being here this afternoon. My name is Jamaal Myers, and I have the honor and privilege of being the City Councillor right here for Scarborough North, and also Chair of your Toronto Transit Commission. Also want to wish everybody a happy Lunar New Year. Gong hei fat choi, gong si fat jai. So the purpose of today's roundtable is to discuss the 2024 City of Toronto budget and to answer any questions that you might have about the budget or anything else going on in the city. I'd first like to just start off by just talking about the importance of local media and the ethnic media in particular. What makes the ethnic media so important in a city of like ours is that you often report on the stories in our communities that don't get picked up on the mainstream media. Whether you're celebrating young people who are doing incredible things in the community, whether you are giving recognition to people hosting events, or offering opportunities to celebrate your culture, or whether you're just reporting about news that happens back home from a more nuanced lens because you understand the situation and the complexity that go on there. I think the ethnic press is one of the vital infrastructures of news media in Toronto in terms of making sure that we have sort of a press that's covering the richness of our city and sort of not just sort of those more mainstream issues that affect everybody, but really getting down into the details of the community. So I really, really do appreciate the work that you do in reporting on the community. So before I begin, I just want to give a bit of a background about myself for those of you that don't know me. Some of you do. I'm a Scarborough boy, born and raised, born at Centenary Hospital. I went to Neil McNeil High School in St. Maria Goretti. I also grew up in public housing. So I know the importance of having well-funded city services because I depended on a lot of those city services to get to where I am today. Whether that was a well-functioning transit system, whether that was parks and recreation to make sure that I had things to do after school, or even just making sure that, you know, I lived next to a police station. I grew up next to a police station, 1021 Birchmount and Eglinton. So just making sure that we had well-funded public services to, you know, help keep us safe. You know, I always took the value of education seriously. I went to the University of Western Ontario, then I did my master's at the London School of Economics, then I did my law degree at New York University School of Law. I spent about 4.5 years working as a corporate lawyer in New York before I moved back to Scarborough in 2018, where I spent a year working as a community organizer. After that, I was a corporate lawyer at TD Bank. And then I ran for City Council in 2022, and I was, you know, fortunate and blessed to have been voted in by my constituents. So I'm very, very fortunate to be here. One of my priorities are always about what's in the best interest of the community. So that means making sure that we have a safe community, making sure that we're doing things that improve the quality of life in our neighborhoods, and making sure that the decisions we make are making life more affordable for you, your families, and your neighbors.
So from TorontoTV. We are Web TV for 21 years. That's news in CTV News today. Toronto home prices up 42% over 5 years. Cost of living up 17%. So as the councillor in Toronto, the biggest city in Canada, what will the municipal government to do about the home pricing or living costs?
So that's a great question. Thank you very much, Joseph. So I'll just start with from the beginning. One of the things I did as chair of the TTC was to make sure that we kept fares low. That we didn't increase fares in this year's budget, We kept the fare at the same price as last year because we understand that a lot of people are going through a cost of living crisis. A lot of people are being priced out of the neighborhoods they grew up in. A lot of people just can't afford to live here, so they're choosing to move away. On the other side, we want to make sure that we're building housing for the people of the city. You see a lot of housing going up. A lot of it is not affordable for the average family, or it's just not suitable for their needs. So for example, if you're a family, you generally need 2 bedrooms, preferably 3 if you have more than 1 kid. But a lot of the condominiums that we're building, they're built as bachelor apartments, they're built as 1-bedroom apartments, and that's sort of the model in terms of how you make the most money. But as a city, we have a responsibility to make sure that we're actually getting affordable housing projects built, and we're getting them built on time and on budget. So one of the things that we've been working on, and especially in recently as my time as a councillor, is we approved multiplexes. So instead of just building 4 units, instead of just building 1 house on a lot, you can now build 4. In Scarborough, this is really important because 14% of all families in Scarborough are multi-generational homes. You have the grandmother living there, you have the parents, you have the kids. But what often happens is that you're all living in 1 house. And what we're trying to do is create opportunities so that you can live together but not in the same house. So 1 on 1 floor, 1 on the other floor, 1 on the next floor. And that's what we've been trying to do through the multiplex bylaw. But what we've done in this ward, Scarborough North, is we've gone 1 step further. We've actually started a pilot that we're going to have a 6-plex study so that you can build up to 6 units on every unit. And that's important because in order to get CMHC financing, which is important to build affordable housing, low-cost interest-free loans, you need a minimum of 5 units. So we've increased the threshold that people are allowed to build. We're working on the legislation now and what it's actually going to look like, but we're hoping to get that up and running by next year so that we can start building affordable homes in neighborhoods that were formerly exclusively for just one family single homes. As you've rightly noticed, those homes are expensive for most families. Most people, if they had to buy their homes today, couldn't afford to buy them. And then what would our neighborhoods look like if we hollowed out the people that make our neighborhoods vibrant?
Thank you.
Thank you. In September. So that's what, September 2024. So that's what we're looking for, and we're looking forward to operating that leverage.